We know that story. We know it. We know what's happening with the prison industrial complex. We know what's happening with mass incarceration. Those are the issues on the table. But we have to direct the issues. We have to push. We have to push to make those issues at the forefront. And that's what we're able to do with Bernie Sanders. He gives us the best chance to do that, to talk that, to be there, to been to these communities, to talk in these communities, and to listen to the community. Not only talk, but listen. What do we do? What do we do about education? Huh? What do we do about education? How about the Thurgood Marshall education plan that he's introduced? You can look at it. It's a document. You can talk about it. This is what he needs to do. This is what else he needs to do. This is what he needs to do. What about the rebuilding our infrastructure in terms of water? Flint is not the only place. We went to Denmark, South Carolina. And before Denmark comes up, we know that there are thousands of communities around this country who do not have safe water. Mark Twain said that courage is the resistance to fear. Courage is the management of fear, but not the absence of fear. So we have to get it in. We have to pull ourselves up like under, and we have the energy. We know it. We know we have the energy because we have our mandate and we have the future that belongs to us, but also belongs to the rest of the world and the rest of this generation. Thank you so much.
That's dealing with catastrophe with a style and smile. And in this particular moment, like those moments in the past, it means that we're going to have black people who refuse to be niggerized. That's a serious thing. That's very serious. Because the powers that be, we got a gangster in the White House. We got a fascist Frankenstein in the White House. He's tied to big money in Wall Street. He's tied to big military. And he wants to make sure black people remain niggerized by walking around scared all the time. They don't want to tell the truth. Scratching when it don't itch, laughing when it ain't funny. Posing and posturing like you got strong spine and really you're still fearful and intimidated. I thank God, my dear brother, I came from Shiloh Baptist Church. We used to say Jesus deniggerized his black people. Makes you free. Speak the truth. Bear witness. Not only for popularity, but integrity, because you're not going to put your grandmama in the grave by slapping her upside the head, but putting a smile on her face. Right. Truth, vision, courage, sacrifice.
We're at a local senior home here in Detroit. Danny Glover spoke, as did Nina Turner and Cornel West. Cornel West was, whew, that man is fire. So I'm going to try to get a few words with him in a minute. And people here liked it. I think Ty behind the camera loved it. And they were talking about why Brother Bernie, in Cornel West's words, is the original, the OG, who's been fighting for issues important to the black community here and the low-income community for 40 years. Sir, you got a minute? Just wanted to ask you, what'd you think of the event? It looked like fire.
It was marvelous.
Marvelous?
It was marvelous.
What are you a Bernie supporter or more just was interested in seeing them?
Well, I'm with Elizabeth Warren.
Oh, you're with Warren? Okay. What'd you think was the highlight of what Dr. West said at the end?
I think that we should all stick together and pay attention to what he said about don't be niggerized. You be niggerized, you're going to be in trouble.
What were your thoughts on what he was saying?
Oh, he was right on point. That's what we all should do, listen to what they say. Listen to Donald Trump. He said he got away with what he did because we are what? Okay? So now we're going to take a lesson from a page from his book, and we're going to win this election.
Was anything said today that brings you over to the Bernie side, or are you still thinking about it?
I'm still thinking about it.
Okay.
But everyone was wonderful.
Great. Have a good day.
To be really short and sweet about it, the quote that they mentioned, both Nina and Cornel, I think Cornel West mentioned it too. Nothing will fundamentally change, and no one's standard of living will change. When he said to his donors, his rich donors, if anyone were to vote for him or support him after that, they must be morally bankrupt or just, I don't want to say stupid, but that should disqualify him right then and there, you know.
Seem to have
That was the first question of the debate night. His first question was about that. He successfully curbed it, didn't even answer it, you know. I hope it's brought up again, because that should cancel him. That should be billboards of that.
By the way, it was the first question addressed to Joe Biden. What did you mean when you told Wall Street that you're going to fluff their pillows for 8 years? He basically totally went to a different topic. And of course, the media said, thank you, Vice President, and didn't challenge him because that's the media.
The most important thing is that Bernie knows how to learn and grow. And he's been learning and growing since 2016 in terms of racism, in terms of ways to deal with reparations that make sense, which is massive reinvestment. And obviously, I'm not black, so I'm not presuming to say, but those sorts of things are really important. Also, it's the whole idea of change doesn't come from the top down, it comes from the bottom up, and that's empowering a whole lot of grassroots people, not just in terms of local elections, but in terms of things outside electoral strategy, in terms of environmental racism, in terms of the schools, in terms, and that's the other thing I mentioned, is his school plan is by far the best, not just getting rid of tuition and paying off student debt, but the public schools raising the teachers' wages so that they're able to really function and teach in a public system and improve everybody's outcomes from the very beginning.
And I really enjoy the way they address the African Americans without alienating other cultures, and how they structured their arguments based on, you know, the suffering that African Americans go through, and how that same suffering we go through, other cultures go through in this same country. And he made a point about the black and white thing, how some issues ain't black and white. They're just human issues. Suffering is just a human issue. Pain, all of that, them human issues. So as being an African American, he pointed out some major issues that we have to get together dealing with our culture. And we have to, you know, correct some things in our culture, politically, socially, and economically. At the same time, simultaneously, correcting the oppression of our government's culture that oppresses all people in this country, in America, especially black and brown and poor white people.
I'm actually curious to ask you because, like, I'm taught as a white person, like, don't say that word, and that's a bad word for white people to say. So when I hear Cornel saying it, and I see the audience just not even embrace it, but just like he's speaking to them, like this is how they feel. You know what I mean? Like, can you tell? I'm not trying to like be like, oh, my black cameraman, but like, can you kind of talk? No, but I'm saying I can't. You know, when you, hey, as a person, like, I'm not gonna fake.
Well, what are you asking?
Like, to you, what is, when he says that, what is he saying to white people who don't understand what that means?
Okay. So what he said, and you know, I'm not in Cornel's head, but what I took from it.
But wouldn't that be a wonderful place?
I know, right? I'm not in his head, so I can't speak for him. But what I took from it is that the actual definition, and when other people try to articulate what that word nigga means, is that's what he's talking about. What they meant initially when they gave that word, how they subjugated us, and and the origin of that word is specifically, he's saying they're trying to keep us there, and they manipulate us to keep us there. That's how I took it, and I think that's how everybody else took it as well, and that's why they responded the way that they responded, because what he's saying is they're trying to keep you ignorant, they're trying to keep you down, they're trying to keep you against your people, they're trying to keep you from progressing, and so he said niggerism, and because it is what it is. Like a lot of, like we say nigga, but it means something else for us. But when he say niggerism, he trying to take it back to this definition of what they meant when they gave it to us. You know what the intention was then. You know what I mean? That's what I took from it. iron in his head, but I think that's what everybody else took from it. That's why I was able to respond to it.
We have Jim Crow laws at our Department of Human Services. We have redlining with our car insurance. We have redlining with our mortgages. Everything here has Jim Crow laws. We have a policy that bans drug felons from getting food stamps for life. However, the child molester can eat, the rapist gets to eat, the murderer gets to eat. So it's strictly for black males because they are the ones who are prosecuted for drug felonies. We have been Jim Crow with our property taxes. You're charging me property taxes based on a fake value. My home's not worth $80,000, $90,000, yet still you charge me that for my property taxes. Then when I can't pay it, you turn around and foreclose on me. So it's just racist policies here in Detroit that have kept us down.
By the way, they're filling up private prisons with black men over drugs, nonviolent crime, while not a banker.
Crimes you never committed, because recently many have been exonerated from rape after they spent 20, 30 years. The state pays $36,000 a year to keep someone in prison.
Ooh, don't say that.
Yeah, $36,000. But you don't want to pay for schools. You don't want the kids to have toilet paper in the schools. We have to give them soap to wash their hands with. So where's that money going to?
Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statusquo.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statusquo.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.
Status quo.